Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Business Spotlight interview series. Today, it's my great pleasure to host Terry Bell. Terry is chairman of Bell and Company here in Belfast. Terry, delighted you could join us today. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Rich. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Look, as I said, delighted you could join us. Really appreciate you giving us some of your time to share with us your experience and your journey. Why don't you share with us who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it for?
Um, well, as you said, my name's Terry Bell. We've a company here, Bell and Company, one of our brands. And basically, we help SMEs, owners, and like who have debt problems, especially if they've got any personal exposure. We've a team now, 25 here, some in Leeds, and a very small outpost in Spain. So it's good, varied stuff. Every case is different. Doesn't sound the sexiest subject, insolvency in debt, but it's weird. It's good. It's good. It's a good thing to be. Very exciting. No 2 days are the same, which is very good because I have very short attention span.
Excellent. And I guess even just looking at the economy during the pandemic, post-pandemic, you're providing an absolute critical service to people who
But
have found themselves up against the wall.
very much so. Um, there's a hopefully we'll get a chance to discuss a little bit more of what we do, but quite a sad statistic is that about 96% of businesses don't make 10 years. And some of the statistics came to me quite late. We started back really in earnest back in 2008 when there was a financial crash here in Northern Ireland and the South. But now 90% of our inquiries will come from England. Again, it was a bit slow on the uptake. Here we've about 2 million people, 67 million people over there, and businesses just go wrong for whatever reason. So it's very we're very much led by what we achieve for the client, and it sounds very corny, but it's 100% the mindset, the ethos, and everything about the business, and what it does do for people. Because debt's not nice; it doesn't go away. It doesn't sort of you don't wake up one day, oh, it's gone. That was a bad dream. It's there forever. It gnarls away at people.
Sure, sure. And sort of a wee bit off script here, but I lived in the States for 3 years, and out there,
Uh,
if you have debt in a business and it's gone bankrupt, you nearly
yeah.
have to go through bankruptcy a couple of times before they hold you in any sort of esteem.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely. They,
what
they they get over it.
what do you find the mindsets like here in the UK or in the Republic? Have we
It's
moved
still a
towards that
shame.
at all?
Yeah, but no, we still a shame. There's a lot of jealousy from, and the weird thing, I've written a very small book, and one of the things you're doing is the mindset, right? Because everyone waits for everybody to fail
Yeah,
in the UK, as you said in the States, and also I'll give you another one on the twice going bankrupt in Italy. But Richard Branson, in his book, I think it's page, I always keep it 182. If you haven't gone or nearly gone bankrupt twice, you're not trying hard enough.
mm,
You know, it's one of the things is you need a measured risk. You don't want to be a lunatic, but you
yeah,
need measured risk. And at some point you've got to take that leap. The Americans love it. I'm very much into the American vogue and the mindset, the motivation. We're not good at it.
yeah.
If we do motivation, we sound like we can't be naturally happy almost. It's weird, It's you know, I'm going to a conference in Miami in 2 weeks, and it'll be the most crass, gaudy carry on, but it's great because they just go nuts. I just sit back. I get about 25% out of it, 75% of rah 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 rah. Hey, do all that stuff, but
Yeah.
it's very much so. We here in Northern Ireland and the South, it is definitely a badge of shame.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
She had it coming. They got above their station. Yada yada yada.
Yeah. And
So,
in one way, we want people to succeed, but we don't want them to succeed too well. It's like they
no,
say, they
absolutely.
got above their station. They needed
Uh,
brought down a peg or two.
like you mean. I love everybody's success. I've got some brilliant cases. I've got a couple of friends that come through. We've got farmers. We've got a guy that sells hair pieces, and they really in bad ways. Sometimes they come in and meet the team. I really like it. And
Yeah.
it's almost like we call it an audience with very grand. There's only 20 of us sat in the office, but you see how it flipped round from being dark days, losing the farm, etc., through to we just built a 18,000 chicken shed.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
And so no,
Fun.
it's a tough environment for business.
Yeah.
Plus, governments don't like business,
Hmm. Yeah,
and
really.
it's the actual engine oil of the economy,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, totally, totally. No, it's great, and it's great. It's great to hear that we're both sort of on the same journey and the same path in helping businesses succeed. Slightly
Absolutely.
different nuance to the businesses, but great to hear that. So, what's been your biggest learning since being a business owner?
Um, People, because we're in a people business. We're not making pens. We're not. Everything is people led, and they never fail to surprise me, good and bad. We a great old consultant. He's very cynical. He's 75. He comes in one day a week, and he's very cynical. But he says, start on the basis that everyone's a liar, and be surprised.
Mm,
But then you see great stuff. Some of the guys are doing the team. Some of the really, really good clients. It's people never fail to amaze. But you can have something. You've got the best case in the world. You go through it. We quote them, and it's great. What we can do is some really good stuff here. And then they go and let themselves down. They just go, why?
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
so it's people never. And as and not even an age thing, a really great skill for any person, but is to try and be able to read people.
yeah,
Listen. We don't listen enough. We don't listen enough. Nobody. I'm guilty as charged. But you just need to get into whoever it is in front, no matter what you're doing. Because if somebody's in front of you, um, if it was a prospective sort of partner in the future, you'd hang on every word. So but you got to do that in business as well. Really, really, really so important.
yeah, yeah. No, fantastic point. So, when you were growing up, Terry, is this something that you saw yourself always doing, or is this something you just sort of like drifted
No,
into? Or...
something I gravitated to. I'll give you an instance how it actually came about that we did. I'm an accountant by trade, not a very good accountant, by the way. Uh, at when I was young, I had it in my head I wanted to be an architect. I've got a weird thing about buildings. Still to this day, I walk around and I look out the window here in Belfast. It's a beautiful old building at Cleveland Fulton Rankin in there. Then the great vocation teacher at school, this is what you need to do. And at that time, we were being brought up in South London. The big career goal was that I should be an accountant at the Ford mega factory in Dagenham, right? Thank goodness that I didn't take that on board. That was good. But we stumbled into this. We've always been sort of pretty good in terms of the interpretation of figures and what's going on.
Yes.
And we had a guy who, way back in the midst of time, he had a company go down long time ago, but he owed about 50,000. And we just rang the bank up on Friday and said, we're going to be able to pay this. We can give you 15,000. What do you want to do? And they said, go on, and we'll take him. Really? That was easy. And so we got into that. And debt has always been the strength of what we have here. And what we've got is a mix of the team that works it really well.
Good, good.
But again, it's not finished in terms of what we're doing. Might be advanced in years, but just keep learning.
Great, great. Yeah, keep learning. That's great. So, what do you feel has been the biggest issue that you've overcome in business?
When we first started this here, primarily I was a consultant, say 15 years ago. I'll keep it in the short term, right? You get other issues through life. But in the short term, is when we first started here. It was the start of the crash. And I am slow on the uptake. I seem sharp at times. But I was thinking, that's another call from Ireland. That's another call. I sat in England. And by the time you got over here, it was sort of, get down to the banks here in Donegal Square, etc. Suddenly you think, well, there's quite a bit going on here, isn't there? And it was bump starting the whole thing. Everybody has that bit. There's a great guy on Instagram. I can't remember who it is, but he goes around with successful people. And he says, excuse me, sir, is that your Ferrari? I've got Ferrari, by the way. He says, is that your Ferrari? And he goes, yes, I've done very well. Have you ever been poor? And everyone goes, yeah, like you won't believe. And I remember once here, literally bootstrapping like crazy, driving everywhere. And we had £8.57 in the bank account, no overdraft. And I even know where I was. I was up at Junction 1.
Yeah.
I was going up there, and quite an important check had bounced on us, the good old days of checks, and it was real tough. And so you just get that resilience. You just got to go on.
Yeah, yeah. And resilience is a word that comes up a lot in these interviews between different business owners and leaders.
Absolutely. Just keep
Resil-
turning up.
Resilience is key, isn't it?
It's everything. It's everything because it's easy. So if it was easy, every so and so would do it. It's really easy. I've got a plaque here that's too rude to put on here, but it really is. It's just keep turning up, keep doing it. Be
Yeah,
patient. We're not patient enough now because all the Insta rubbish and all that sort of stuff. It's all on a plate here.
that's
Just
that's
do
right.
the hard yards.
We've grown into the days where everything's instant,
Oh,
instant cash out of the wall.
why is the
It's,
Wi-Fi
it's
not working? Somebody
instant
I just rang there. Yeah.
instant transactions on your phone.
Oh,
Yeah,
brutal.
yeah, yeah. And in my day, this is showing my age. The phone was on a wire in the hall, and you had to run it round. When
Mm-hmm.
you were in holiday, the phone was up the road in a box. And when you first started out on the road in business, you had a bag of change with you for
Uh,
putting in the phone
yeah.
boxes.
Now we are showing the rate. When the throttly bit went in and popped back out.
So, what have you learned about yourself during this journey?
um, just I don't know. I'm a man of a certain age. I'm 64, right? But I still
Oh,
think you have to keep.
terrific.
It's how you just keep going, right? And I'm really lucky, and everybody I suggest really wants to try this hard. It sounds cliche, but just enjoy what you're doing.
Hmm.
I actively say to our team about once a month, right? If you don't enjoy what you're doing, right, go somewhere else,
Hmm.
please, for your sake, but also for mine.
For yours,
I don't
yeah.
want people moping around. And it's just the world, despite all the negative stuff, 24/7, yada yada, all going on. As the Princess of Wales Doctor Picture. Who cares? Get on with it, guys. Right? It's that just enjoy it, get on with it, and really just do the best. The world is a brilliant place.
Yeah,
Go back to the mobile phone. The Apple Watch. Oh no, I haven't had a half that. That's cool. It's incredible, incredible.
yeah,
Uber. Oh, there's my taxi. That's great. No, everything's convenient. Despite being told 24/7, it's the end of the world.
yeah, yeah. And I think certainly for Northern Ireland, my experience has been get out there and see the world, guys. Go and do some
100%.
traveling. Myself, I've been through I think 49 countries now, and when you experience
Are you on the run?
no, I was in international sales and business development and stuff like that
Brilliant.
there for a long time. And basically, when you've seen those other cultures, met so
Yeah,
many people from diverse nations, diverse backgrounds, it really opens your mindset and your
absolutely.
approach to life. And if there's one encouragement I would give to anybody, is to travel, travel as
Absolutely.
much as you can and learn as much as you can, and then implement it.
I get my best thinking time when traveling.
Mm.
I was last week because we do some work in Spain, so we went to Spain, took a couple of the team. We went to see our solicitor. He speaks as much English as I speak Spanish, which is zero. Great translator and everything else. And again, it's that trying to assess what's going on there, even in a different language, and
Yeah,
having no fear. One of the ladies that's traveling, oh, what if, just get on the train. Just we're going up country somewhere. I don't know where we're going. No one's going to kill us. We're going to come back. And then I went to see my daughter in Bulgaria. I got pulled over by a Bulgarian policeman. They're a bit severe out there. They don't take, And my daughter, oh my God. I said, have you got your driving license? No, I don't need to carry my driving license. Oh, you do here? Oh, right, that's going to be awkward. And you just, again, if you've got that thing where because you can travel, you get that, most people go, I'm going to jail.
yeah, yeah,
Do you want the car? Do you want the car? What do you want me to do? I don't know what you want me to do. Body language, a little bit here, carries across the board. You say you can only get that. You'll have loads of those rich with the 49 experience, or 49 different countries and experience.
yeah,
So important.
yeah. Oh, so important. You're spot on, Terry. So important. So again, through the journey of the business and working with lots of people with their backs against the wall and helping them turn that around or whatever the outcome has been, driving them forward to success. What has been the most surprising aspect to you about actually owning and running your own business?
It may sound boring. It still comes because we're a people business. It still comes down to the people.
Yeah.
I used to. I'm not a technophobe by any stretch. When Google first started, we spent quite a bit of Google on Google. We don't get a Christmas card from them, but we spend a lot of money for them, right? Not even a Christmas card. But I used to love Google inquiries when they first started. It was nearly like witchcraft. It was like, where'd that come from? Some fella clicked on that bit of rubbish I wrote, and it came down here and it manifests, and it's great. And so that was always great, always great. But again, people don't never cease to amaze. Never cease to. You can be talking to I don't know, a builder. I know it's a builder. I know it's a good, big burly man, hairy house builder, but he will crack like that and some of the stuff that goes on. So he'd take the head off me if he wanted to, right? Not a rude term, but you see almost like the fragility of somebody there. They can have that persona, that look, and everything else, and it's just, and that's what makes life interesting.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid you had a 9 to 5, you just went in, came home, and you walk around Belfast, right? So I start very early, so I can be walking into Belfast at 6:30, and people are genuinely, they'll talk. How you doing? How you doing? You come down here at 8:30, 9:30, and walk around Donegal Square, miserable as sin. They are just going to work.
Yeah.
They are, next thing they're most concerned about is that, have we got boiled potatoes or chips for tea? And the day passes, and it's Wednesday, it's hump day, we could get to Friday, and it's just a sad carry on.
I was going to say, it's sad to see, isn't it, that unfortunately so many people are just in that 9 to 5 job to get money to survive this week and go into next week.
Yeah, and we're trained from an early age, okay, to be like that. Don't be different. Don't be. Don't break the norm. Don't take risks. Don't do this. Don't. We're told loads of things to do.
Yeah.
We've gone far too far. So it sounded like an old man, right? Why do you close schools when it snows? The best days ever.
Yeah.
We're told so many things not to do.
And I think, well, certainly my school experience, and I believe an awful lot of people's school experience, is that you're literally just getting trained and molded to fit a job, a job.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And here, woe to you if you're thinking outside that box.
I think they're starting to get a bit of a change with education. It was that thing, you must have a degree. I'm a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. He's sort of, and he's a bit too far with it. But if you think, what is the actual use of an archaeology degree if you're going to ultimately end up working at PwC?
Yeah.
Really, you think may as well say, I've got 3 years of drinking experience or 3 years of partying. And so how handy is the archaeology? Oh, I can brush something very, very fastidiously. And the great thing in terms of AI is that you won't need to do the mundane learning. The great skill in there is going to be interpretation. We do some here, and we've actually got an interest in a process automation company.
Yes.
And some of the stuff you can do is absolutely phenomenal. It's just brilliantly mind-blowing. And if you don't keep developing as a person, no matter what you do, if you do a 9 to 5 job, but you're the best, you've got 5 black dans on your karate belt, good man, good woman, do something. Don't go there and come back, eat your pot noodle and watch Coronation Street all evening.
Yeah, that's right. The journey of continual learning is essential.
As I said, the wrong side of 18, learn every day, 100%.
Yeah. So, who inspires you? You mentioned Richard Branson earlier. Who today in business inspires you?
I have lots of go-tos. I'm genuinely inspired by any success, anyone that's successful. And if you consciously think like that, it's amazing how many people are like that. That's not saying I'm different or whatever like that. Very few people, I sit and go, that's bloody brilliant. That's really, really good. Well done. Whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Right? But it has to be genuine success, not coming 5th in the egg and spoon race at school or anything like that. It's got to be up there.
Yeah.
And I use it sort of slightly goes into anything about motivation. I self-motivate every day by listening to different people, and most of them Americans, back to your American friends.
Yeah.
And it depends, no particular mood, but it can be. I'm a great fan of Tony Robbins, have been. I saw him in 1996. I did my 3rd firewalk last year in Birmingham, in London, in England. and sometimes I just need to hear the voice. It does. I really like David Goggins. You couldn't put him on
Yeah.
anything because he just, it's the old lingo. And they've all got places to play. I've just recently engaged a bit with Jesse Itzler, who's quite a good guy in the States. He sold Market Jets. And as he says, he's more famous and known because he's married to the lady that owns Spanx. And they're just, the Americans are enthused.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some BS with it, but they're genuinely enthused. And it's that. So any of those guys that have done it can go around. And it again goes back to almost like our culture. It's a bit crass if someone's a bit successful.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'm just thinking in terms of being self-motivating. Obviously, things that go into the conferences, the likes of maybe what's coming up in Miami in a couple of weeks. You mentioned Tony Robbins, you know, globally renowned. Anything local that you do, or do you have a favorite book that you would go back to again and again that
I
motivates
tell
you,
you what I
spurs
did
you on?
recently, and it's the naffest thing to ever listen to, especially on Audible.
Yeah,
And it's Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill.
yeah, yeah,
Originally written, I think, in 1937. And it's very old school, but it's very there's a lot of underlying strengths. And recently reread it, but I like to keep fairly current in my reading rather than going back. And this is something very strong. One book I did recently reread is a good one. It's called "Buy Back Your Time" by a man called Dan Martell in the States. And I've just finished reading "Atomic Habits" by James Clear, which is really
yeah.
good.
Excellent, isn't it?
The other great one, but I think it costs about $150 a year, is a thing called Masterclass in
Yeah,
the States. Very different, not hard to listen to. I mean, if you break it down, it's like $12 a month or something like that. But that's really good stuff. And it's just yeah, and I must be I like podcasts, but sometimes you listen to a podcast, it's a bit like watching a crap film. It finishes, you go, "Was that it?" So it's got to be on pitch, you know. It's
yes, yeah, yeah,
what you're trying to do. I used to like Stephen Bartlett when he first started, but now
yeah.
everything's. This week we're talking about period pains, erectile dysfunction, yeah, whatever it is, anything but business. It's direct
Yeah.
CEO statement, change the title. So
Yes, yeah,
it's yeah, but no, all part of self development, whatever it takes.
yeah, totally. So, what does the future look like for you, Terry, and for Bell and Company, and what do you see as the main challenges going forward?
Main challenges for us at the moment, and I work on it continually, is getting out, even a young team, to get them to change their approach and mindset. I struggle. No, I don't struggle. I wrestle with the fact of making sure they engage with the change.
Yeah, yeah,
And but we're in great form. We last month we onboarded 20 new clients. We've got more focus in terms of what we do with our EU property solutions side, which is another brand of ours. We will be launching later this year something called bankruptcychoice.com. A bit sexier than it sounds. And we've got some good plans. So we've got some bit of litigation management. It's good. Most importantly, we do a great job for the clients, and we make sure as much as we can, it's good fun.
yeah, yeah. No, so,
So
sounds great. Great culture you've got going on.
to be
Also,
worked
big
on all the time.
ethos.
It's got to be worked on all the time. Culture.
Yeah, yeah.
So no, very important.
Brilliant. So, last couple of questions then, as we
Mhm.
draw to a close. What would you say to anyone if they asked you about thinking of going into business for themselves?
I'd nicked this from someone, right? I don't know who it is. Everything is times two.
Okay.
It's going to take twice as long. Costs are going to be twice as much. Whatever you need funding wise, get twice the amount. That's not negative, but you start, if you've got something that'll up and run pretty good, there's a great thing. Reid Hoffman does Masters of Scale. That's
Yeah.
great. If you've got software, you can develop and get out there really quick. If you've got any service and or process or goods, that the twice two rule applies.
Yeah.
Be patient. Be incredibly patient. Be
Yeah.
incredibly patient, and be patient with people. Sometimes you'll have picked up this. I speak too quickly, but that's purely misplaced enthusiasm sometimes. But just be patient with other people. As it's nearly sometimes you go, come on, we can do it, keep going, stay with us here.
Yeah,
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. If you're going to do it, do it. Never say, well, what if I did do this? Do it, but just times two everything.
fantastic advice. Really, really good nuggets. And if we could have the, as you said earlier, witchcraft or maybe the magic of rolling the clock back. What's the best piece of advice you would give an 18-year-old Terry?
I don't know. You've got to be careful because I don't want to sound like a patronizing old man, right? But just be so open-minded to everything that's out there. Yeah. Question not everything, but question most things. If somebody says, I think this is it, so what's your justification for that? Back to my friend Tony Robbins, who's written a huge book. I can't remember the title, but it's about health, every facet of health. And he says, a doctor's education from medical school only has a half-life now, because of technology, of about 73 days. I'm not saying fall out with your doctor, but fall out with your doctor if they say, oh, it's a virus. Okay, so you don't know. So, but that's a slight aside, but it's just, don't question everything in a ridiculous way, but really make up your own mind. Yes. Don't listen to the outside influences, bloody BBC over there and yada, yada, yada. Just, the world is a great place. You've got the best opportunity. The world is the smallest it's ever been. You and I could speak to any one of your 49 countries. Yeah. And they're talking on this basis, it's just absolutely good. If you do it, go for it. Really go for it at a young age. Yeah. Because the nicest way you can screw up and go again. Exactly. Yeah. True. Try not to screw up, though. Try not to screw up. Yeah. But if you do, you don't worry about it. Move on. And if they do, they know who to reach out to. Yeah, well, I'm not trying to encourage business in that sense, but exactly. It's not advertorial, that. Yeah. If you screw up, just give us a call. Well, I was going to say as well, you mentioned that you'd written a book. What's that book called? Is that available for everybody now? It was slightly corny after we're actually in the throes of writing another one. I'll give you the new title, right? SME business failure, shit gets real. Because that's it. You've got to put over your bit of persona, right? And I cuss too much, as my grandchildren told me at the weekend. But it's and the other one was SME debt issues. It wasn't long after COVID because it was very much on vogue. But again, we put a lot of emphasis on imparting knowledge, and I keep using the word mindset, because the day you can recognize the issue, so many people are in denial in everything they do. Sure. Take it on the chin, big and ugly enough, dust yourself down, and off you go. Yeah. It's not the end of the world. It's not good. We know that, but, get a grip. Let's see what we can do from here. Sorry, we have one hashtag. We use it a lot in our marketing. Hashtag, know the worst, achieve the best. Very good. Yeah. So you've got to know how bad it could be. Yeah. See if we can make it better than that. And again, I tell you, it's back to the 18-year-olds. It's that sort of thing, and you've got a great world to go into now. I am jealous as hell. You get quite. There was a lady the other day. She's quite elderly where we live in Yorkshire. And she said, "I wouldn't like to be young again." I said, don't worry about it. You're not going to be. I said, "I'd love to be." I'd love to be. I'd love to be. Yeah, she'd say, "Yeah, do whatever we've got so far. Chuck it in a bit. Let's go again. It'll be best crack ever." Yeah, let's go again. Very good. Look, Terry, I really appreciate the nuggets, all of your sharings. Excellent advice in there as well. And very much appreciate you taking time out of your schedule and sharing with us today. So thank you so much, and every continued success going forwards. Thank you. And to you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good luck. All the best.